Let's talk about money for a little bit, right?
Mhm.
Because Jeremiah, I mean, you can see behind you the ClickFunnels awards there. You've done $70 million in online sales.
Mhm.
Which is something that you know 99.99% of people have not done and probably will never do, right? I mean, you are one of how many have gotten that award, that ClickFunnels award behind you, the two Combo Clubs C?
From my understanding to date, from last I saw, there's been 50 entrepreneurs worldwide. There could be more right now, but that's the last number I saw.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. I guess at the time that you got it, I don't think it was 50. I think it was closer to 10 when you got it. But
Oh, for real? Oh, I didn't.
yeah, I mean, super rare award. So with that being said, what would you say your number one secret was to generating $70 million in sales? What
My
makes you different? Yeah.
my number one secret. That's hard because there's a lot of things. There's a lot of ways that obviously it came about, but if I were to say my number one thing that makes me unique of why I was able to do it versus other people, the one thing that I did that no one else did was my ETM method, right? Or I call it emotional trigger, right? That right there is my secret sauce. That is what I created. That is what we ran with our entire time is this emotional trigger, I call it ET method, where we were able to generate all these sales without even having to run ads, right? By understanding this method, we could generate all those sales without running a single paid ad campaign. Now, full disclosure, we did run ads, right? We did run ads, but we didn't need to. We didn't need to. Honestly, we had more success and higher profit margins when we didn't. So we shut down our ads because by doing it organically was just as good, if not better, because we didn't have as much cost. It worked with ads, but it's not the same. So this emotional trigger method that we came up with was, I mean, it still is to this day the only way we operate when it comes to our marketing and generating sales. We've tried other things. I've tried them. They're all good. They all work. But this hands down was the best because it's the same method I've taught every entrepreneur who has come into my program, right? They've all learned this. Over 300 of our students use that ETM method to go on to make their first 6 figures. So not just make a little extra money, 300 students use this exact same system in their business to generate 6 figures for the first time. As a matter of fact, I think even 10 or might be a little bit more, 10 went on to do 7 figures on their own using this exact strategy, the emotional trigger method, right? I mean, it is hands down, in my opinion, the most powerful strategy, marketing and sales strategy I've ever seen, right? And so if you're going to ask me, like, what's my secret? Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I've done a lot of things that I've learned from a lot of other people, but the one thing that I've done that has been different is hands down my secret is that the emotional trigger method.
And break it down for me. I mean, what
Yeah.
if I'm if I'm someone here and I want to make, my first, $10,000 a month, you know, how can I use the ET method
Yeah.
to do that?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously you know the ET method, so I'm trying to think like, okay, how can I explain this to you? I mean, I feel like there's so much I'd have to explain to somebody to teach them the ET method, but if I were to really just kind of simplify it, there's obviously multiple ways of marketing and generating sales and whatnot out there. And to be honest, if you choose one and stick with it, you're going to generate sales. It's going to work, right? This is my chosen method. This is my unique way of doing things. So if I just break it down to somebody's my method, the emotional trigger method is exactly as it sounds, just to trigger emotion, right? To trigger emotion to draw in the client because I get this is the analogy I use all the time when I explain this, right? What's the best way to catch a fish? Or what if anyone hunts or fishes, what's the best way to catch a fish or to shoot the deer or elk or whatever, right? It's to jump in the pond, swim in, and chase after it and snatch it, right? Or for the deer to sprint after that motherfucker and jump on and stab it, right? No, obviously not. No one is going to sit here and hunting and fishing and say that's the best thing. It's stupid of me to even mention that that's an option. So why do we do that in business? Why do we chase? Why do we constantly chase the sale and go after it? Now, again, business isn't hunting. You're going to actually make sales doing that. And I've seen business operations where they do that method where they chase and, hard close and this is this and really, pound the pavement, pound the doors, pound the phones, whatever it is. That's fine if that's what you do. That's just, it's inefficient. Yes, you're going to make sales for that, but it's inefficient in regards to the ratio of energy you're putting in because there's tools, right? The best way for me to catch a fish is honestly considered cheating. It's unsportsmanlike. I throw out a bunch of corn and let all the fish come swim up and just, eat it. And then I get a little net and I stick it under. That's the easiest way to not only catch one fish, but to catch a bunch of fish super easy. Or even again, in hunting, it's considered cheating if you just stick out a deer feeder that's spraying corn and you just sit there in your little deer blind, snacking and whatnot, and then they come up and start eating, you just pop them. It's so good, it's considered cheating, right? It's in hunting. But why don't we use that same mentality when it comes to business, right? Is that not the most optimized way of doing things? Learning how to effectively draw in your client by triggering certain emotions, and that comes through the bait. Having the right bait, if you know how to do it, you can trigger their emotion to bring them to you, where you become the order taker. And I know some people hate that, but why not make your sales reps or yourself even an order taker? Draw them to you where they're already basically a buyer ready to purchase. You just have to present them with options as opposed to have to push it down their throat, sales, The emotional trigger method is what brings them in. It's what gravitates them towards my offer, right? So being able to, if I were to teach you this, being able to create the correct bait or hook and putting it out there to draw people in. And then once they're hooked, once they're in, then to be able to continue through the process, triggering emotion. The entire thing is predicated on emotion and triggering those emotions and psychology, understanding the psychology of pain and dreams and being able to bridge the gap between those two with you, with your service. If you can effectively bridge that gap, they're going to ask you for your service. They will be coming to you. And we've seen that, have we not? I mean, we didn't have to run ads. We were getting DMs on a daily basis of people asking us about our products, our services in multiple industries. Credit, financing, e-commerce, right? We've done this in every industry we've been in. This is our bread and butter. And I've studied other methods, and it doesn't make any sense. We've tried other methods because, again, I listen to people, and they're going to tell me that one's better, this one's better. So we tried it. And you know what? We made sales, but it wasn't better. It never was better than this because this was the most optimized way to draw people in organically and through an ad campaign. It works both ways. But again, if you master it, you can do it organically. So you're not wasting money on ad campaigns, or whatever have you, right? If you want to scale and put gas on the fire, of course, then run the ads and just, do it. It's all the same method, right? It just draws people step by step through. So understanding how to set up the proper trigger at the beginning, right? To trigger their emotion at the beginning, or what I call FOMO. If you can create FOMO with the bait at the beginning and then trigger the emotions of pain next and then dreams, right, through these processes and bridge the gap between the two using your product, then they become immediately a buyer. Not someone who's you have to sell. There's someone who's already ready to buy before they even talk to you, right? I mean, is that not the purpose of business? If I can have someone walk into my door wanting to buy, as opposed to me having to go out and sell, again, either way, you're going to make sales. If you just put in some effort, I mean, that's why if I'm talking to some dude who wants to make his first 6 figures, I'm like, well, number one, if you just put in some effort, get your product and go knock 1,000 doors, you're going to make some sales. So if you want to pound the pavement, or put in the work, you'll make money. It's not hard. Get a high ticket product. It has to be high ticket though. Get a high ticket product, $500 or more, where you make high commission on it. And then just go out and put it in front of people. There's enough people out there who are going to buy your product or service just by nature of, sheer volume and numbers. It's just going to happen. So that's number one. If you're willing to just put in the work, but if you want to optimize it, say you want to work from home or you don't want to, call 1,000 people or knock on 1,000 doors. And I get it. I've done that. I've called thousands and thousands of cold call leads, and my team has as well. I've had people, knocking doors. We made sales. but it was so much easier. And honestly, when it's easier, simple systems is what scales businesses. So if you want to do it in a way where you're doing it from home, using the resources around you, then do it in a way where they come to you. Using the ETM, right? The emotional trigger method, using the FOMO bait, right? Triggering next, right after the FOMO, triggering the pain receptors in someone's mind, using your words, using the copy, and then painting the picture or illustrating the dream, right? Again, I do entire seminars on this thing, right? So I teach this constantly. So if someone wants to learn the details of it, then they go to my website, alphascreed.com, or just click the link below if you're here on YouTube, and you can get my ETM method, right? You can learn exactly detailed step-by-step how I do this, right? You can even actually get my free masterclass where I'll train you on this, it's details, give you my beginner's blueprint to just copy and paste what I do. So if they want that, they can go to my free masterclass and learn that. But, in a sense, in the first 10 minutes, that would be the best way I teach someone. The most optimized way is to learn how to trigger emotion, learn how to use your copy or use your creative to draw people in, and then trigger next pain, trigger illustrate the dream, and then bridge the gap between the product. And if people have more questions on that, then they need to go watch my masterclass. It's free. Go watch it. If you're watching this right now, go watch my masterclass. It's free because I explain in detail exactly how you can do that. Doesn't matter what industry you're in.
I mean, I am a product, of that method. So, I was able to, take home in profit. I mean, over $600,000, doing this from having
Right.
no experience. I mean, my story, I used to work at a call center, making like $11 an hour. And all
Yes.
I needed was a high ticket product to offer people. And I just started, following the method, started building FOMO using my social media. And just through that, just once I learned sales and got confident with that, like, I mean, there you go. You can easily generate 6, if not 7 figures, using that method. So I mean, yeah, I'm one of those guys that he's mentioned
Yeah.
who's partnered with him and actually done that. So yeah, for sure. If you guys are looking for something to make your first, $1,000, couple $1,000 online,
Yeah.
then I would for sure check out the masterclass and get that training because it's invaluable.
I mean, I'm giving it out for free. Like, people just go watch it because I also, like, I'll just say this. I clearly recommend this for someone who does high ticket. It works for e-commerce, but the thing about e-commerce is, yeah, it's such a small product. I'm talking e-commerce, like you're probably selling a product that's anywhere from $20 to $200, So if that's the case, it still works, but I like high margin. That's my business model. I like high margin, high ticket. So, it'll work both ways, but if you're going to ask me honestly how you make your first 6 figures the fastest, go high ticket. Get a high ticket product, high ticket products. And again, if you need high ticket products, there's so many out there. In the masterclass, I'll show you how to get them. In the masterclass, I'll show you how to get the high ticket products. They're everywhere. You don't have to come up with on your own if you don't need to. You can get someone else's product that'll pay you high commission and sell that using this method, and you'll make a great amount of money. It's not hard. It's just if someone's willing to put in the work. Like you've obviously worked your ass off, right? And yeah, you came from a call center, but you had work ethic. And honestly, that's me too. I have work ethic, and once I learned this system, I hate to tell people, like, there's nothing special about what I do. Anyone could do what I do, but I'm gonna outwork you. So if you're willing to outwork me, then we'll compete. We'll compete. I'm willing to take risks. I'm willing to actually implement what I learned, and that's why I've done what I've done. And I've taken it to a level that other people would be scared to do, right? But at the end of the day, it's just if someone's just willing to put in the work, hell, it's the most optimized way I've ever seen to make money.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll close up here. I mean, just some final remarks. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I saw a video of a guy talking about and I totally agree with this. Being a high ticket closer in many ways is almost better than being a full blown business owner. I mean, just from the position I was in compared to, let's just say, your position as a business owner. I mean, I mean, I saw, going through it, how much stress and liability and things that you have to handle. And we can go into more detail on that too another time. But yeah, having a high ticket offer and really just being a high ticket closer is definitely one of the most like sought after and I would say luxurious jobs you can have.
Right.
And
Oh, There's no question. I mean, if you want to take on the responsibility and the liability of it, have fun. Have fun. That's all I can say is have fun. If you don't, then just, close the deals. You can still make millions of dollars doing that easily. But if you want to get to 8-figure level, I don't see anyone getting to 8-figure level as a closer level. So if you desire 8 figures, that's $10 million a year more, you're going to have to own the business. If you want to get in the 6-figure and 7-figure range, close high-ticket deals. Work with other companies. You can honestly operate your own little business as a, solopreneur, so to speak. Make great money doing that and not have to worry about the liability and all these other, we could talk days on for whatever what all comes with that. People who are business owners watching this know. But yeah, it's all in the choice of what someone wants to do.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. You're starting out, get into high ticket closing, get into that opportunity because that's going to be the best way for you to make your first 6 or 7 figures.
That's right.
Anyway, yeah. So we'll close it up here. Again, you guys, if you guys are wanting to learn more about the ET method and how you guys can use that to make your first couple $1,000 online, link below. Watch that masterclass, and we're out.